Welcome. This devotional explainer is brought to you by the You Need Faith in Jesus team. Have you ever really stopped to think about what the church is supposed to be? I mean, beyond just the building or the Sunday service? Today we're going to dig into the divine vision behind it all, and maybe more importantly, where you and I fit into that picture. Let's jump in.
We've got to start right here with this incredible promise from Jesus himself. In Matthew 16:18 he says, "And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Now listen, this isn't just a suggestion, it's a sovereign decree. It's the master builder laying out the cornerstone for everything he intends to do.
So, first things first, we have to get this straight. The church was not our idea. It wasn't dreamed up in a boardroom or a strategy session. Nope, its origin is found in the eternal plan of God himself, a divine institution he designed before a single star was in the sky.
And what's so cool is that the original word for church in Greek tells the whole story. It's ekklesia, and it literally means the called out ones. Just think about that for a second. Our very name points to our purpose. We are a people who have been called out from the world, set apart for a divine mission, to be a living, breathing representation of His kingdom right here on earth.
This verse from Ephesians just nails it. It says we are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. You see, we're not strangers or outsiders anymore. We're citizens. We're part of the household, like living stones being fitted together, all perfectly aligned to the one true standard, Jesus. Okay, this brings us back to that initial promise from the master builder, because hidden in that simple declaration are two words that are so powerful, they guarantee that his work cannot and will not fail. Look at the absolute certainty here. First, I will build, not we might build or you should build. Jesus is the one and only builder. Pastors, leaders, programs, we don't build the church. Jesus does. And second, he says, my church. It's his treasured possession, something he bought with his own blood. It belongs to him and nobody else. And that distinction right there is absolutely critical. You know, human ambition is always trying to build its own tower up to heaven, to make a name for itself. But God's vision, it's the complete opposite. It's about bringing the reality of heaven down to earth, all for his glory. Our job isn't to invent a vision, it's to receive his. So, if the church is God's big project, how in the world do we get the blueprints? Well, that leads us right to the necessity of vision. We're about to see why hearing from God isn't just a nice little bonus, it is absolutely essential to the work.
Proverbs 29:18 gives us this really stark warning. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Now that word perish, in the original Hebrew, it means to cast off all restraint, to run wild. It leads to chaos. Without a clear revelation from God, we're just running around in the dark. Vision is the spiritual blueprint that keeps us focused and moving forward together.
But thankfully, God doesn't leave us hanging. The prophet Habakkuk lays out this clear, four-step process. The vision has to be written down. It has to be made plain, super clear, so the people can run with it. It's got to be actionable. And then, the hard part. We have to learn to wait for it, trusting that God's timing is always perfect.
So, once we have the vision, what's our part in all this? The Apostle Paul gives us the perfect answer in Acts 26:19. He's on trial for his life and he says, "I was not disobedient unto the heavenly vision." Once God makes his plan clear, our job becomes just as clear. Simple, profound, unwavering obedience.
You know, God is the great architect, but he absolutely loves to use human hands to do the building. This is our call to be co-laborers with him. Let's take a look at how a divine idea becomes a powerful movement through ordinary people.
The story of Nehemiah is just the perfect picture of this process. It all starts with him seeing the brutal reality of his city. The walls were rubble, the gates were burned. It's a powerful image of a church in distress, a vision that's been forgotten.
But Nehemiah didn't just sit there feeling sorry for himself. No way. The burden he felt, fueled by God's vision for restoration, turned into this powerful public call to action. He rallied everyone together with a clear command, "Come and let us build."
And this right here, this is the turning point. This is where it all changes. The people's response was instant and it was unified. Let us rise up and build. A vision that started in the heart of one man became the shared responsibility of a whole community. This is how God's work gets done, when my burden becomes our mission.
And that really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? Before we can join in on the corporate work, we first have to answer a very personal call. Isaiah chapter 6 shows us exactly how. The Lord asks, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And Isaiah's response is just total surrender. "Here am I, send me." That's the blank check that God is looking for from every single one of us.
So now we're bringing this vision right to your doorstep. This isn't just about history or some abstract theology. This is a personal call for you, right now, to find your place on the wall. Let's get really practical with the tough question. Are you a builder or are you a spectator? Do you view your church as an active construction project? Have you, like those people with Nehemiah, actually strengthened your hands for the work? Or are you just kind of sitting in the stands watching?
And think about Isaiah's response again. If God were to ask you today, "Whom shall I send?" is your "Here am I" a complete and total yes? Or are you holding back certain areas? Maybe your time, your finances, the unique talents He's given you?
And how about your prayer life? When you remember that absolute, rock-solid promise that this work is guaranteed to succeed, does that fuel your prayers with a new level of faith and authority? Do you pray knowing that victory isn't just possible, it's already been declared?
All right, to make this all real, here are 5 practical steps you can take starting this week. These are simple ways to move from just hearing the call to actually picking up a tool and getting your hands dirty for the kingdom.
So in the end, it really all boils down to this one question. The blueprint for the church? It's divine. It comes straight from God. But the call to build, that's personal. It's extended to you. The only question left is, how will you respond? Thank you so much for joining us for this devotional explainer from the You Need Faith in Jesus team.